What to say to a younger self if you had to do it all over again. This is episode number 298 from My Online Toolbox for the weekly quick tips in all facets of marketing to help you grow your business with more quality leads. We want to remind people that on Thursday, January 11th, just a few weeks away, we have a real powerful workshop by two industry leaders, My Online Toolbox and Markup and Profit, also known as Construction Programs and Results. It's a blueprint for sustained business growth. A contractor shares his story. We want people to imagine rewinding the clock to the day you launched your business. What advice would you give yourself? So join us as we present the success story of a diversified remodeler, home builder, and GC. He learned a lot since 2015, and we're offering an active participation opportunity between companies who helped along the way, with the contractor taking the center stage to help answer some strategic questions about every step of the way of the growth and profitability and diversity. Check it out. There's limited seats available, so you're going to have to look up if you're listening to this or go to the My Online Toolbox Facebook page to get the link. But it's at markupandprofit.com, their website, /event /a blueprint for sustained business growth, one contractor story, putting a hyphen in between every word of a blueprint for sustained business growth, one contractor story. Last week, we were discussing how to focus in on working smart as opposed to working harder. You have to make a change. You have to have a shift in how you prioritize things because everybody could work hard, but not everybody is able to work smarter. We also are following up on the topics of episode number 296 with how fast is your website programmer? Because too many people fall victim to this trick question. Go back a few episodes to check that out. And that was on the coattails of the false victories by your tech folk, where too many people simply do not understand your business, but they're claiming victory when it comes to your marketing initiatives. But this week, we're focusing in on what would you say to a younger self? And it is coattailing off of last week's episode pertaining to working smarter. And most people, it's easy to say, but will you do it? We are in this week focusing on what would you say to yourself. So here at My Online Toolbox, been in business now for over 35 years. It's sometimes hard to believe time goes by so fast, but I would be re-emphasizing to a younger self everything that has to do with time management. I've done a very good job over the years, in fact, but I could have done better. First of all, cash flow was something that was adapted at the right time where I was focusing in on cash flow, but initially passively. And then once I understood the power of paying attention to your money, what's coming in, what's going out, and when will things happen, and understanding those averages. I've been debt free for so long that it's very difficult for people to understand how easy it is to run your business when you're cash flow positive, you don't owe anybody a nickel, and there's plenty of reserves in the bank for everything and anything that could go wrong. I've gone through many crises, COVID, September 11th, and other business issues, and it was much easier to deal with when I was building a reserve in advance in anticipation of those problems. Separately, I was balancing strongly current work versus future opportunities. But it's a subtle way of introducing marketing to the topic because most small companies do not take a moment, and that moment doesn't mean daily and it doesn't mean weekly. I always like to repeat the periodic nature of sustained periodic nature of marketing must be part of whatever time management you have, because if you're not planning for a month out, then you're going to have problems 2 weeks and 3 weeks out. If you're not thinking about 1 to 3 months out, then your problems are going to come a little bit shorter. And the further you keep on pushing out what that time frame is to be concerned about, you at least lead yourself into that direction. So time management for us when it came to marketing has always, for 35 years, been part of our life. So when people are jealous or envious about how My Online Toolbox has the sustained growth over a period of time, it's not magic. It's just that we've taken a very strong approach towards slicing out a period of time, including these weekly quick tips. It's not easy to do 298 episodes consistently. You don't even have to divide by 52 to figure out how many weeks that is, but in a year. But my point is, this has been a component of how we've maintained 1 to 5 year relationships because we have a method that's built into our process to be able to stay connected at least on a weekly basis. Doesn't mean our clients are paying attention to us on a weekly basis, but whenever they wake up and decide to say, hey, let me think about marketing, and whether they go to our YouTube channel, Instagram, Facebook, or whatnot, they're able to catch up on a massive amount of periodic marketing to keep them motivated in why My Online Toolbox exists in the first place, to help them grow their business long term with more quality leads. But to be fair, we had a weakness at the beginning of the year, but we don't at the end of the year, which was becoming more decisive on what works versus what does not work for our time management, because we have embraced being able to have a schedule. And again, the schedule's not perfect. There are a lot of permutations, but the biggest weakness we saw in time management was starting with new customers who are all motivated and say they're going to do whatever they're going to do for the marketing, and we would have the stamina to keep following up, and chasing. And even when they were making payments to help us support the effort to chase them, we realized that's not part of our business model. We're not here to wipe an adult's backside, forgive me for the French, on getting so curt with how to express it, but we did have a very small set of people who sign up. They sound very ambitious. They're ready to spend the money, and then all of a sudden, maybe they take the classes, maybe they stop following up for how to finish a marketing plan, but then it becomes a weight on our shoulders that even if we're being compensated for our time by this snail of a client, for lack of a better word. We're not worrying about calling it that because they're not paying attention to us anyway at this point. But the point is that we rather be focusing in on the 97, 98, 99% what works, rather than being weighted down like a broken link in a bike where just one or two clients are absorbing our time and distracting us from our business model. So now we spent this year getting very decisive on being upfront on how we can drop the client. And even though those clients may get upset and feel that the customer is always right, that is not true, at least in our book. And so if you can't agree to how you're going to have a long-term relationship, we've now become more decisive in what ends that relationship so we could stay focused on the majority of what works. So we would go to our younger self and take time management as an example to our younger self, to make sure they appreciate that money could be replaced. Time for us cannot be replaced. So we've mastered the ability, but it's taken many, many years of self-adjustment to get to that point. You want to take a moment to say, what would you really tell yourself to do differently and or better to be able to have a stronger result sooner than later? That simply time experience. It was in your arsenal to be able to understand, but it just took many hard knocks in order to get to this point. We want to remind people that please, depending on how you're hearing of this episode, go to the My Online Toolbox Facebook page or YouTube channel to subscribe and like us there in order to get the weekly quick tips, or go to the My Online Toolbox Instagram page to check out the weekly featured projects of the best in marketing examples for this industry. And for anybody new who's into marketing and wants to change their life forever, just sign up for the industry-specific marketing education class to help you understand brand marketing by going to the My Online Toolbox website. It's under Basic Education. For more leads, you could figure out what to do from there to sign up. This is My Online Toolbox, providing weekly quick tips and reminders in all facets of marketing to help you grow your business with more quality leads. We want to remind you to start planning yesterday for next year's marketing and profits. Have a healthy week, and we will see you next week.